The protector deity Vaishravana in Himalayan art is not like a lot of the other different deities. Vaishravana is a lot more layered. There's more depth to it, and there's more varieties. Because he spans early Buddhism, foundational Buddhism, he spans basically the biography of Shakyamuni Buddha up until the present time. So we have different contexts for him as he appears in art. And so therefore we need to have some kind of a breakdown, some study topics in how we go about approaching the study of Vaishravana. So first we really need to look at what are the main forms. So we have to look at the four guardian kings, which are the first of the gods to go and visit the historical Buddha Shakyamuni after he reached enlightenment. They each gave him a begging bowl. Shakyamuni transformed the four begging bowls into a single begging bowl. So, where we find these four guardian kings who became the first protectors of Buddhism, we find them at the entrance of temples, the entrance walls of temples, but outside, not inside the temple, because they're worldly gods. We have a difference between worldly deities and wisdom deities. Wisdom deities is synonymous with enlightenment. Worldly deities means they're living beings still within the realm, the cycle of samsara. So, we have the four kings outside of a temple. Then we have depictions of Shakyamuni Buddha, his two main disciples, the 16 elders, two attendants, and then the four guardian kings. The four guardian kings are not painted individually as scrollwork paintings. They're within a context of Shakyamuni and these 16 elders. Okay, that's for the foundational Buddhism, Theravadan Buddhism, a little bit Mahayana. But now we get into Vajrayana. Vajrayana, we have one main form that dominates in art, and that's Vaishravana riding a lion. Now, this form also is still regarded as being worldly, because he's not a self-generation in Tantric meditation theory, he's a front generation. And Vajrapani is sort of the moderator of the behavior and actions of Vaishravana. So with this, we have tremendous numbers of murals, scrollwork paintings, and sculpture, and it is by far the most popular form, this Vaishravana riding a lion along with 8 horsemen, generally dressed as warriors, but not always. It can depend on painting style, and it can depend on religious tradition a little bit as well. Now, the third category for these study topics, the third is all of the miscellaneous tantric forms of Vaishravana that may or may not appear in painting and sculpture, or they're not recognized necessarily as being forms of Vaishravana. In the Sakya tradition, as I mentioned already, there are 17 traditions sort of bundled together. In the Rinjung Jatsa of Taranata, Jonang Taranata, we have a number of different forms, and then these are repeated in the edited version of the Rinjung Lentop of the third Panchen Lama. So we have many different forms. So that's one way of looking at how to study Vaishravana, by looking at how the early forms are depicted with reference to Shakyamuni Buddha and the four guardian kings. Then the main form we find in art, riding the lion, which is also very popular in Chinese art, and then all of the miscellaneous forms. So that's one method. Now a second method is to look at the four guardian kings, but then secondly to bundle all the forms of Vaishravana together, the riding a lion and all the miscellaneous tantric forms. And then the third is to then look at how Vaishravana, along with the four guardian kings, is represented as a secondary figure in many of the mandalas of Kriya, Charya, and Yoga Tantra, sometimes Anuttara Yoga as well. And that's another way of looking at it. because we need to understand that the four guardian kings are very much represented within the four different categories of Tantra literature classification. Just some quick notes on study topics for Vaishravana.